The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. The hell is this? It's the Ron Van Dam Show. Thank you. I do this once a month. No, sorry. I do this once a week. Oh my God, what a way to start the show. I don't know the difference between a week and a month. How are you? Good to be with you. Obviously, you're better off than I am. I come in here once a week to do this show that I do on the radio and on the podcast platform thing for iHeartRadio and Amazon Music and Apple things and all the other fruits and the SoundCloud and the Audible and all those. Stitcher, and I could name them all. Anyway, iHeartRadio is our major carrier, and hey, thanks for being here. What I do on this show, what I do on this show is talk about the things that other people don't talk about, in the sense that we're all bothered by similar things, perhaps in different ways. And anyway, that's what I do. So thanks for being here. Thank you so much. I do this regularly every weekday. Yeah, and you can hear it. You just Google me. Ron Van Dam Show. Or you can go to newenglandbroadcasting.com, ronvandam.com, whatever. And you'll find me. There are over 2,500 episodes to listen to if you have the time. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'm damn sick of it. But we all have our things. So, are you ready? Here we go. I was in a restaurant a few days ago. I'm not being, oh God, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not being racist in any sense of the word. I'm positively saying, in a fine, nice light, sitting at a table near me was an Oriental family, very, very nice. They were having conversations with their young children, aged probably somewhere between 5 and 9 years old. I can't tell the difference anymore. There's a boy and a girl child and the two parents, and then there was an elder parent sitting there as well, a grandmother, I would assume. And they were having their meal and they were having conversation. And here's the amazing thing. The children between the ages of 6, 7, 8, I don't know, they were actually having conversation with the elders. And it was wonderful. They were respectful. They made sense. They asked questions. Questions were answered. How do you feel? I don't know. What do you think of this? Well, I feel this way. They had mastered the art of civil conversation. And I felt like standing up in the middle of the restaurant, turning toward them and going, bravo. Bravo for your civil type of display of respect and wonderfulness. That to me was a model family, and one of the reasons was that they respected their elders. I know that we have a presidential election coming up, and you should know that too. Both of the probable candidates, both Democrat and Republican, they're supposed to both be Democratic, but that's different. They both are higher up on the age bracket of possibilities. They're both in the same age group. They're only a few years apart. So, one calling the other old is just ignorant. But those will probably be our choices. But then, I'm saying to myself, what is the problem? Why do people have a problem with age? If you can't control yourself, or you can't speak, or perhaps your ideas are like way off the charts of incredible idiocy, that I can understand. But if we respect our elders, this all doesn't make any difference. Someone who is in the higher age bracket has been through life experiences. He or she has gone through various circumstances, various traumas, various life events, the birth, the death, the grieving, the exhilaration. They have been through it. They've been through circumstances, speed bumps, obstacles, and they've climbed over them in life. Those are the people that I want making decisions in this world of significant problems, where any tinderbox can explode at any moment, where there's a plethora, you try spelling that, there's a plethora of different things that need attention all at once at the same time. You need that experience to be able to pull that off. Now, more than ever. So I would greatly go toward the elder for that experience, for that knowledge. Knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. You can't have knowledge unless you've experienced it. You can sit in a classroom all day and have an instructor or professor or assistant professor, they don't have professors anymore, stand up in front of a classroom and you should do this, and then this happened, and then this is how that happens, and this is how that... that's fine and dandy. But until you get out of the classroom and experience those things for yourself to handle them in real life situations, the classroom don't mean anything, or doesn't mean anything if you can't speak English like I can't. So I go for respect. I go for knowledge. It's the way it works. I go for the elder. Doesn't mean that you can't have a young person who's incredibly smart do the task as well. But admittedly so, they haven't been through the same stuff that the other ones have been through. Not yet. I often say to Joe Biden, not that I speak to him frequently, but if I don't think Joe watches this particular program or listens to my radio show, I'm not sure if he does. I assume he doesn't. He's probably got stuff to do. But I would say this, Joe, and I call you Joe because you seem like a guy who's familiar. You sit down with a person, you pat him on the back, and they're your buddy right away. I like that. I like that in him. I would say, Joe, here's what you should do. Gather together some incredibly smart and accomplished high school students of all races and creeds, a good sampling of all, because in this country, they're all here. It's a sampling of all. So this always has to be a sampling of all. So you get your academically incredibly achievable, loving high school students, and you choose some of those people. Then you go into the next age group, which would be the college kids. You get the college kids that are apparently doing like phenomenally well and kind of know what they're talking about. Were raised properly, know what it's supposed to be. Then you go to your young adults who are just getting out of college, if that's the case, higher education, and embarking upon their first job and getting their first house, their first mortgages, that kind of thing. They have to pay some bills all of a sudden at this step in life. Gather these people together, probably about 30 or 40 of them. Put them in a room. Walk into the room, Joe, about every 6 months. You don't have to do it every day. Every 6 months, sit down with them and say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, what concerns do you have? How can we work out the problems that we have? Give me your perspective from your age group, of your point in life. You are the people who are going to be here in the future. Tell me, A, what the concerns are, and B, how you think they could be resolved or handled at this particular moment. And I'm listening. And that last part, Joe, is important. And I'm listening. And you sit there, Joe, and you listen. And then you get a perspective of the younger people whom will inherit the earth, and yourself as the elder, the one who has experienced all these things in life. Put them all together, and you got things that make sense. Doesn't seem like a difficult task. It wouldn't cost you any money, really, to just put them up at a hotel or the Holiday Inn or something, or Holiday Inn Express if you don't have the money. Not a big deal. But why don't you guys in government try that? Instead of sitting in Congress and picking your behind, trying to figure ways that you can stay in power, instead of doing that, instead of thinking ways of how you can destroy the party on the other side of the aisle, instead of doing that, why don't you open your ears and listen to the concerns of the younger people? Start younger people committees and start listening. You don't have to go along with all of it, but you should go along with some of it. And that's representation all across the board, and not necessarily by background, but by age. Not a bad idea. Are you with me? Raise your hand if you're with me. I can't see your hand go up. This is television. I can't see you. It seems hardly fair that I can't see you, but you can see me. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's like going for your physical with your primary care person, and they give you this little thing to wear, the gown that opens in the back. And they say, take off all your clothes. We're going to give you an examination. But the doctor stays fully dressed. Doesn't seem fair. Just doesn't seem fair. And I'm not talking in a sexual sense. It's just not fair. I have to take all of my clothes off, but you stay fully dressed? No. No. Well, I'm not the one getting the exam, says the doctor. Yes, but I'd feel more comfortable if we were both like on an even par of dignity. I don't feel as dignified sitting here naked with a gown on, and you're fully dressed, and you even go further by wearing a lab coat. I mean, you don't even have to do that. That's like an extra layer of clothing. It's not fair. So going back to my original point from 1927, respect your elders. Respect your elders. And if you're a kid or a young adult or middle age and you got an elder hanging around, they've been through more than you have. There's still opinions what the elders give you, but still, you should listen. You don't have to do it, but you should listen so that you know all the options. They're trying to help you out. They're trying to say, I've been through that. I've been there. A number of times I've been there. I'm trying to help you out. No, you're too old. Oh, no. I'm extremely experienced. You've got my definition wrong. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to that. Here's something else that doesn't make sense. I don't know if you heard. Why are my arms up? It's because it's television. I have to somewhat do something with something. So I might as well flap my arms around so it's like exciting television for you. The United Kingdom, or England, if you wish to whittle it down to the England thing, they actually have an opening in their military for the United Kingdom's, the UK's Royal Navy Submarine Fleet Director. Yes, they don't have one right now. I don't know what happened to the other one, maybe drowned in a submarine accident. I don't know. Retired? I have no idea. But there's an opening in England for the Royal Navy Submarine Fleet Director. So instead, and they say that, well, there's nobody in our Royal Navy right now that really we would want to choose that can fill the position. Okay, that's a weird statement in itself. There's nobody in your entire Navy, United Kingdom, there's no one in your entire Navy who can be the fleet director, right? So, well, who are you hiring? No, instead, they go to LinkedIn and they post the job opening. What? And then I dug deeper, as I tend to do, and I found out that England government posts a lot of their positions on LinkedIn when there's a job opening. Wow, that's just an odd thing. You would figure they'd come up through the rank. Excuse me, I've been a submarine commander for 30 years. Yeah, but you can't be fleet director. Why not? I'd rather advertise for the position. Oh, my God. That sounds weird. I'm sorry, I did the wrong accent. Hey, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? That's a little bit of a British accent. So, and then they say in the LinkedIn thing, they're still looking for a UK Royal Navy submarine fleet director. They say in the ad, experience necessary. Oh, really? I assume that's the case. Now, I'd like to be fleet director, if I may. I'd like to, I'm applying for the position. Do you have any experience? No, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. But I'm affable. I'm nice. What do you want from me? I like to swim. I do laps. Yeah, submarine. I've never been on one. Saw them in the movies. Kind of look a little creepy, but no, I haven't experienced. All right, you got the job. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. Of course experience is necessary. Otherwise, I would have hired somebody from within where they have experience, but apparently they're not even good enough. What are you looking for? Here's the irony and why I bring this up. I don't know if you're aware of this. I think you are. That to become president of the United States, this place, you don't have to have experience in government at all. You don't have to have any experience at all. You just have to be a certain age, and you have to be a U.S.-born citizen. Or a U.S. citizen, I should say. That's it, you know. Born would be nice. Otherwise, Trump will be on your ass about that. Yeah, but that's like placing it out in LinkedIn, looking for a president of the United States, need one around November, apply within, no experience necessary, and that would be actually accurate. You don't need experience to become president of the United States. You just have to meet the age and the birth requirements and the citizen requirements. That's it. Other than that, not so much. I could apply. Problem is, they got to vote for you or not, but I can certainly apply, and I am eligible to be president of the United States. I am. I have high blood pressure. Other than that, I'm good. It just shows you how absurd this whole thing is. No experience necessary. President of the United States, no experience necessary. That's like getting the job, walking into the Oval Office in White House the first day, sitting down behind the desk, looking at these people and saying, okay, I don't know who you people are, but like, what do I do now? Well, Mr. President, we need your opinion. Opinion on what? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Why? How did you become president? I don't know. I'm qualified. It's confusing to me, as I'm sure it is to you. Anyway, this is January of a new year, oddly enough. And by the way, there comes a point where having a lot of New Year's is not a good thing. That means you're getting like too old. You can still be president, but you're getting too old to have a lot of these calendar things being flipped over. You know, like I can only flip over a certain number of pages before you got to go, uh-oh. Anyway, so January, people make resolutions. Usually it's to lose weight. That's good for 3 days, not even. And then that resolution is out the window. Why even bother? You're wasting time is what you're doing. You're not allowing yourself to eat food that you could have otherwise ate if you didn't make such a stupid resolution. There are other ways to lose weight, like eating a little differently, doing some exercise, that kind of thing. Give that a shot. But to go on a diet, deprive yourself, doesn't work for most people. Just because it's January 1st, come on, you can do this any day of the year. Some people want to quit smoking. That's a great idea. You should have done that a long time ago, but it's never too late. But like, does it have to be January 1st? Why can't it be like December 3rd? I don't understand, because I have to put up with family. That's why, and I smoke heavily when I have family over. Well, all right, whatever. Some people, and this is a lot of people, decide that they are going to not drink during the month of January. They call it dry January. Not that it doesn't snow or rain, because it sure does. But that's what they call it, dry January, no alcohol. And my response to that is, what are you, crazy? So, because a lot of people understand that what I said is accurate too, they say, well, okay, maybe not dry January where you don't drink any alcohol for all of January. And by the way, what happens February 1st? You drink like a fish. You know that. And you know how fish can drink. You've seen fish, a lot of them in goldfish bowls, passed out. It's not because they drowned. It's because they drank too much. So they've changed it. So rather than dry January where you don't drink any alcohol at all in January, they know that's too difficult. So they call it damp January, where you can drink alcohol, but not as much as you usually do. So it's not dry, it's the tiniest bit moist, perhaps even damp. Wet January would be that you keep on drinking as you always have, perhaps even a little bit more. So people are going the damp January route. Then there are the alcoholic beverage companies, which for some reason figure, okay, if people aren't going to drink as much anymore, and I doubt that's the case, but if that is a possibility, let's continue to manufacture beverages so we don't lose any of the sales. Let's start producing non-alcoholic alcohol drinks. Excuse me? Yeah, non-alcoholic beer. All right. I think you're missing the point of beer. I don't know many people that just love the flavor of beer and that's it for no reason whatsoever. There might be some people like that, as many people as there might be foot fetishes. I don't know. But to walk around saying, oh, I love the flavor of beer. Do you drink beer? No, I can't. I just like the flavor. Nobody does that. You do it so you look like you're part of everybody else. And you can say to me as much as you want, Ron, because that's my name, but you can say as much as you want, no, I really don't drink alcohol, but I do like drinking non-alcoholic beer because I just love it as a beverage. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. You want to look like everybody else. That's why you're drinking non-alcoholic beer, because you want to make people think you got a beer. I overhear this sometimes in a bar where a person there that's sitting at the bar says, do you have any non-alcoholic beer? And I mean, the obvious response to that is, why? Why don't you just order a ginger ale? What's your problem? Get a Yoo-Hoo. I mean, get a Shirley Temple if you want to be, whatever. But stop this chicanery. It's ridiculous. I don't drink alcohol, but I want to look like I do. You're making no sense. So, damp January, Yes, I'll just have one drink. All right. Would you like another drink? No, I can't. It's damp January. But let's start now. Okay, give me a damp January drink. In some bars, if you want to go damp all year round, by the way, some of them do like half drinks where they'll put, instead of, instead of a shot of vodka or something, they'll do half a shot and fill the rest with water or some carbonated thing. And they'll charge you like less of a price. Ask them if they do that. That's a good way of doing it. But all year round, unless you're under some kind of incredible trauma like your wife or your boyfriend or your husband just left you, yeah, then you're doing shots. I get it. I get that. We all do that every once in a while. But as a regular rule, maybe you should cut down a little bit. You can still drink, but not full strength. Give it a try. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is a television show, Jeopardy. I watch that every weekday. Ken Jennings is the host. The other one I never cared for, the Mayal Blachen, whatever. She dressed like a school marm. What's up with that? Why do you have to look like that? Anyway, I don't think she's on the show anymore as a host. But anyway, so I watch Jeopardy, and they have these contestants, 3 contestants, and they seem to know everything, and I don't. And how does that make you feel, Ron, where there are people standing there showing you how incredibly intelligent they are, and you can't answer all the questions, not even some of them? How does that make you feel? Not good about myself, I suppose, but maybe I'm learning something when I'm watching the contestants answer correctly. Are you retaining those thoughts? No, actually, no, I'm not. So what do you do if you feel slighted by watching Jeopardy? It's fun to watch, but you know that you're not that smart. How do you feel smarter about yourself? Well, what you do is you go to YouTube or something and you find a television show. It was a game show about 15 years ago, and the name of the show was Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Yeah, they had one contestant trying to answer questions that were of a 5th grade caliber. And if they needed help, they had a 5th grader actually standing there to help you out. Nothing could be more demeaning than that. I would never be a contestant on Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader, because the answer could be no. And that would be too embarrassing. As a matter of fact, if you do happen to lose, before you walk off of the set, you have to proclaim to the camera, I am not smarter than a 5th grader, and then you walk off in shame. And you probably lose your job and your entire connection to your family. I watch that show because I do know most of the answers. I have retained the answers since 5th grade somewhat, but I do feel smarter than a 5th grader, and that balances Jeopardy, where I feel stupider than an incredibly smart person. We do this a lot to ourselves. There was a television show decades and decades ago. It was Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, hosted by Robin Leach. He was a British guy that was really annoying. And he would take you into the homes of millionaires and billionaires and show you how the rich people lived in these mansions and estates. And your only reaction would you gawk at the beautiful interiors and the beautiful grounds of the estates and the mansions, but at the same time you'd have to say to yourself, I'm not doing well. I'll never be able to afford anything like that, not even close. So the show should have been called, These Are the Things That People Have That You'll Never Have for You. These are the things you will never get. It's like Jeopardy. This is the intelligence that you will never have. Life makes you feel good sometimes, doesn't it, huh? So what are you going to do for damp January? Have a non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, that's it. Have 2. I think it'll be okay. All right, kids, I'm just about out of time. This has been a real pleasure for somebody. There are other shows on this channel. They're fine and they're great. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know what's on next, and I don't know what was on before me, but I'll tell you this much. I'll be back again next week with another program, but until that time arrives, please listen to my show, NewEnglandBroadcasting.com, Ron Van Dam Show. Google me. I'm all over the place. I wish you peace.